Kevin, you announced your retirement in a letter to the town council. The first question I have to ask is, why now?
Why now, Peter? Because I'll tell you. First of all, my term was up, or is up, on April 3rd. April 3rd. And it'll be the end of my second term. And I thought that that's a good time. My wife's retired. She's home. And she doesn't have to be home by herself all the time. I think it'd be good for the two of us to spend more time. We spend a lot of time together, but we both have very active lives. And I think doing it this way, I'm going to be home with her. Plus, we can do things. We can go off and travel. And we love cruising, even though we can't cruise right now, but we will be cruising at some point. I've got a son out in California. We haven't seen him in 2 years now. Go out to California. So there's a lot of things that we want to do, and we'll have time to do it.
I've known you since the days of the Balfour Company. Ran for state rep, won the state reps race, left that to become the director of development at Sturdy Memorial Hospital. I thought you were retired, but then you ended up as the town clerk. Have you ever thought about how many people that you have met over the years, and how many people, especially when you were a state rep, you've been able to help?
Peter, I was in church, one day, and I looked around, and I was amazed how I was part of many, many, many lives in that church. And I think every day I run into people that along the way over the last, it's been 50 years. I mean, so yeah, we have, between my wife and I mean, because let's face it, when she was state rep, I was somewhat involved with what she was doing. And when I was state rep, she was involved with my life too. Countless number of people. And you know what? I loved it. I loved it. I loved helping people. I think I was brought up that way. And everything I've done, it's been more in my public life, I've been involved with people and helping people. Even when I was in the Navy, I ended up as a personnelman working at a ship's office. What did I do? I helped the crew. Okay. So it's been great, but it's been a career of helping. And I think I've loved it because I've been involved with so many different things. I mean, started off with Balfour, and then from there, while I was there, I ran for the school committee, and that's when we were in turmoil trying to build a high school, and I got in the middle of that. And then
the infamous double sessions.
Oh, yeah, that was terrible. Again, the poor kids, and so finally the people voted to build a new high school. A new high school. I still call it the new high school. It's 50 years old. But I was part of that. And I wouldn't, talk about the Balfour Company. That's how I became involved with politics. It was my good friend, Don Jackman. He was in charge of the awards division here in North Attleboro. Remember Don? Don was a great guy, big redhead. And I used to have lunch with him. I used to have coffee with him in the morning. And he said to me, if there ever was a vacancy, he's on the school committee, he said, would you consider it? I said, I would love to do that. I said, I'd love to give back to the town. John Hebden, who was on the school committee, he resigned. And John went off to Connecticut. He was a teacher. And there was a vacancy. So they called me. They said, Don said, would you be interested? I said, of course he would be. So I was interviewed by the school committee. And the guy who gave me the hardest time in that interview was Arthur Ty. Now, Arthur was a great guy. But he really put me through the mill. He ended up as being one of my good friends and one of my good allies on the school committee. So it started over there at the Balfour Company. Right here across from my office is where I used to have our school committee meetings. And that's where my political career began. Interesting. Yeah.
What are you going to miss most about the town clerk position?
The people. I mean, when I ran, one of the things I said is that we would keep the door open. We'd have an open door policy, not with COVID now, but when we started, because we were the face of town hall, and when people would come in and they didn't know who to go to, they'd come in. Patty McNeely and Pat Boylan are great people. They do a great job, and they'd come in with a smile on their face. They tell people, where they go, where they can get help. So I think that was probably one of the things in dealing with just so many people. And I'm a real townie, and a lot of the old townies come in to see me. They still come in to see me just to say hi. So.
Not the town clerk position specifically, but what won't you miss about working every day?
What won't I miss? Peter, I haven't even thought about that. Because I get up in the morning, and I probably will get up as early as I get up now. I can't really say that there's any part of the job that I didn't enjoy. The new government, we're not as involved because we don't have town meeting. But I used to enjoy town meeting because that used to be interesting. We were up on the stage, and then we basically kept the minutes, so we knew everything that was going on. Peter, I can't see a downside. I really can't. I don't think in any of the jobs that I worked, I don't think there was really a downside. I think when it's my time to leave, in all my other jobs, I left, and it's my time to leave here.
You realize the true test of a marriage isn't when you're both busy, it's when you have nothing but time together. That could be a challenge.
Peter, we've talked about that. We have talked about that. I don't think it would be a problem, but you never know. You never know. But I mean, we've been together over 56, it'll be 57 years. And hey, like any other marriage, you have your little squabbles, but you know something? You communicate. And communication is the key to everything. And communication is the key to marriage. So we still communicate. So I don't think there's a night that we go to sleep that we can say that we're mad at each other. So that's my philosophy to people. And I do a lot of marrying too. I'm a justice of the peace. And I have a part of my ceremony that I read to the couple, and it's more or less my philosophy on marriage, and they love it. And then at the end I said, this has lasted for 57 years with Miss Betty and I, so just take heed. And they love it.
Kevin, best of luck.
Thank you, Peter. I'm looking forward to it. Good.